want to talk about the 5 money beliefs that are keeping you poor. So the first money belief is that the pursuit of money is selfish. I used to think that pursuing money was like, it made me a bad person. I was just this selfish, greedy motherfucker who was trying to make money. Most of my life, I actually grew up thinking that trying to make money was the wrong thing to do. What I thought I wanted to do with my life always revolved around not making money, helping people, making an impact, doing something that I feel passionate about. I don't disagree with that. However, money only amplifies who you already are. And so the argument that I've made to myself of why I want to make money is because I really do want to help people. I really do want to make an impact. And I have seen with my own eyes and experienced in my life now after making money that I've been able to do way more of that having money than I have been able to when I didn't have money. Now I can donate to charity. If I want to build a hospital, if I want to build a school, if I want to change the dynamic of an industry, I can't do it, or it's much harder to do if I don't have money. The second money belief that is keeping people poor is that money can't buy happiness. Now, what I want to find is, what is a belief? A belief is just an assumption. And so what I've noticed is a lot of people have false assumptions about money. And as somebody who has had very little money and then a lot of money, I feel qualified to talk about this because I used to have so many false assumptions about money, about how to make money, about how to think about money, about what money does and doesn't do. Money can't buy happiness, but money can buy freedom. The more money you have, the more options you have. Is that happiness exactly? No, but there's a high correlation with people who have high levels of freedom and autonomy and people that have high levels of happiness. Now, on the other side of that is that money can save you from pain. It gives you the stability and the security to pay attention to more meaningful areas of your life. If you have a lot of money, you don't spend time thinking about money. You don't spend time thinking about, can I buy this? Can I not buy this? Can I live here? Can I not live here? All of that pain, all of that suffering is gone. All the arguments you have with your spouse and with your family about money, gone. Think about a wedding, for example. How often do you see people that it's like, what's the price of the ring? Oh my God, I want this one, but oh shit, we can't afford it. We agreed on this price, and now the woman feels shitty, and now it turns the whole experience negative. And then, oh, we want to invite all these people to our wedding, but oh my gosh, we can't afford more than 50 people. When you have money, none of that matters. Money is the number one reason people get divorced. Money is the thing that people argue about. Money is a huge source of pain in this world. Having a lot of money does often lead to a happier life. You can focus on really creating a meaningful relationship with your spouse, with your kids, with your friends, with your employees, because you're not worried about money. When I didn't have money, it was like I saw my family once a year. I would fly back home and it was like a big thing. I had to take time off work. It was a pain in the ass, and it was like always stressful because I'm not only just taking time off work, but I'm also having to pay for flights and travel to get there. Now, I can fly my family wherever I want. I can go pay for us to stay in one of the nicest resorts in the world, and we can go have Christmas there. And nobody has to worry about arguing over who pays for what, because I have so much money. I'm just like, let me pay for it. Money has allowed me to create more meaningful experiences in my life. The third money belief that is keeping you poor is that you have to work hard to make money. Okay, let me tell you, this is something that I believed for a long time. In fact, up until I even was making a shit ton of money when we had our first company gym launch, I believed that my hard work and working so long every day was the reason that I was able to make a lot of money. Until I got to a point in my business where I was actually working less than I was in the beginning and making more money. And then I started looking at people who were successful and who'd made a lot of money, especially within acquisition.com. And what I've come to realize is that hard work does not equate to making more money. I worked way fucking harder when we were starting Gym Launch and when I was a personal trainer. When I was a personal trainer, I'm getting up, I'm opening the gym and doing classes at 4 a.m. and I'm leaving by like 9 p.m. I worked way harder then than I do now. But I make way fucking more money now than I made then. And so a lot of people like to argue like, who's working harder? That's not how money's made. So how is money actually created? I believe that you are compensated in accordance with the level of difficulty of the problem you solve. Now, does that mean that you need to work very hard to solve that problem? No. Some people can solve a very hard problem very easily with little effort. And ideally what you want to do is pick a problem that is very hard to solve and then solve it in the most efficient way possible. So if the problem that you solve is that you're a grocery store cashier and the world has not yet automated buying groceries, and so you're checking people out every day, you're going to get paid way less than somebody who's, say, a tax lawyer who can help a small business owner save on taxes. However, if you can, say, automate the buying of groceries so that nobody ever has to use a cashier again, you're gonna make way more fucking money than somebody who's solving taxes for a small business owner. The reason I think a lot of people get stuck in this belief is a couple things. One, people feel morally superior for working hard. This is something that I had to detach from years ago because I used to think that working harder and longer hours made me a better person. I no longer believe that. I think that sometimes I actually like it too much because I like working hard and I like working long hours, and it's stupid. It's not a good use of my time because I should be spending more time thinking, ideating, and really thinking of ways to be more effective. Now, the second thing is that we're used to it. We don't know how to not do. And a lot of people, to make their first amount of money, which is not a shit ton, but like enough, they usually work really hard because it's hard to learn a new skill. However, then they get stuck in that cycle of working hard. And what they don't realize is they haven't taught themselves how to think, quality decision making, leverage. How could I grow my business without working harder? Like asking yourself good questions. How could I make $2 million more this year without adding any operational drag to my business? The fourth money belief that people have that keeps them stuck is that more money equals more problems. Okay, this is something, again, I used to believe before I had money. I used to see people with money, and their society creates this stigma around people with money, and it's like, oh, people with money are just assholes, they have more problems, look at all the stuff. You know what it really is? You don't pay attention to poor people. You pay attention to rich people. But there are tons of miserable rich people as well, and you're actually paying attention to them because they're rich. There are just as many miserable poor people as there are miserable rich people. When it comes to more money, more problems, I think I did used to feel this way. Because as I started making a lot of money, the money itself became a problem. What do I do with the money? How do I protect the money? What if I lose all the money? It became another thing in my life for a short period of time, I wanna say about 18 months, where the money actually took attention from me. And this wasn't because more money created more problems. It was because I didn't have a good relationship with money. I didn't understand that this is just human psychology and that anything in life can be lost. There is no certainty, and I needed to create a better relationship with uncertainty of like, hey, I could lose all my money tomorrow. Not that the money's a problem, right? Your spouse could also leave you tomorrow. Your best friend could die tomorrow. Your employees could all quit tomorrow. There's a lot of uncertainty in life. People would argue, well, Layla, if you have more money, there's lawsuits, there's people trying to take your money. So yes, there are new problems. I would say that you're upgrading your problems, or you're trading your old problems for new problems. Now, there was a study done that I found very interesting, where they were showing people the faces of criminals. They would show people like, I think it was like somewhere around 100 at a time, faces of people. And in that study, they would say, pick out the criminals. So the first group, they had 100, and they had, I wanna say about 50% were criminals. People picked, I wanna say, I can't remember the exact number, say 30 faces and said, these 30 are criminals. The second time they showed them a group of faces, they took out like half the criminals, and they said, pick out the criminals. Again, they picked 30 faces. Then again, they dwindled it down, and they took out all the criminals. Again, the group of people picked 30 criminals. So what they realized is that the brain, every time you enter a new situation, the brain never runs out of problems. But what happens is that when you accumulate more money, there's a new threat. It used to be that not having money was a threat. Now it considers having money as a threat. What you have to understand is this is just managing your mind. The fifth money belief that keeps people poor, the phrase, I'm not good with money. I used to say this all the time. And here's where I see it the most, is people that are fresh out of college, they're getting their first job, they start making money on their own, and everyone's like, listen, I'm just not good with money. Cross out the word good with experienced. You are not experienced with money. Look at people who had jobs when they were 12, 13, 14. I don't know if anyone has one when they're 12, but those people typically are really good with money by the time they're 20. They're buying real estate. Why is it that they're so much better at money than me? Because they've had more time and more experience, magically, right? Like how much time have you spent educating yourself about money? How many books have you read? How many articles have you read? How many mentors that have a ton of money have you talked to? Second is, do you have any experience with money, right? Like, did you have to save money and pay for things and pay rent and all that before in your life? If you never have, then you're probably gonna suck at it at first. I did. I was horrible with money. The truth is, money management is a skill. It can be learned through education, experience, and effort. It's like, oh, I'm not good at working out. No shit. You've never worked out. You've never hired a trainer. You've never researched it. You've never tried, right? You've gone to the gym like off and on a couple times in your life. And that's also the next piece, which is once you educate yourself and you're experimenting, a lot of people don't stay consistent. You use Mint for a few weeks and then you stop using it. You save your money for a few paychecks and then you stop doing it. But like the reality is, until you're consistent with your money habits, you're not mastered it. And that's okay. It takes time. And I look at it like this. If we can just shorten the time of being inconsistent, like consistency, inconsistency, consistency, inconsistency. I'm just trying to shorten those valleys of inconsistency. I'm not trying to eliminate them. That's not reasonable. I used to have terrible money beliefs. You don't have to change a belief to make money. But it certainly makes it much easier and less painful. Because if you have positive beliefs about something, it's just like you don't have to believe that you can have a girlfriend or a boyfriend to get one. Like there's people who are gonna date you whether you believe it or not and have low self-esteem or not. But it's going to make a more healthy relationship and a more productive relationship if you do have good beliefs, values, and practices around a relationship. And so I look at money as just like a relationship in my life. I think that having a good relationship with it and having positive, productive beliefs about it is helpful for everybody.